Is this the human race of the future?
Aliens on the border.
One of my cousins was having like night terrors and shit like that. So then they came. The lady was like, "Oh, it's like a fucking duende that's trying to steal your cousin's soul." Or
What
whatever.
the fuck?
And I was like, "What?" And then she gave me, you know what dowel rods are?
Yeah, like those things that you hold and shit. Yeah.
So she gave me this thing wrapped in paper, and she goes, "These are yours. Like, make sure nobody else touches them." And then she goes, "What you're gonna do is you're gonna get a glass jar." And my cousin had just moved into River Hill.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Sorry.
That's pretty badass. They had moved into River Hill. If you know what it is, like
Yeah. I live close by there.
Oh,
you
okay.
mind hitting that button right there on the wall just to shut off the top? Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Okay, yeah. So they had moved over there, and she was like, "It's because wherever they live, they cleared out like a bunch of like monte, a lot of wild."
Do they live closer to like the back section of River Hill?
They live like right. They used to live right in front. Like, you go in the first turn on your right in that little cul-de-sac. They would live there, and they had just moved there. And then the lady told my cousin, because they cleared out that area, the wood gnomes are like pissed or whatever. And so she gave me these dowel rods wrapped in paper, and she's like, only you can touch them, nobody else can touch them. And then she was like, you need to get a big glass jar, like a pickle jar or whatever, and then you're gonna go in the backyard, and then as soon as these dowel rods cross, you're gonna put the jar under it, and then seal it, and then throw it in the river.
What?
And then I was like, okay, like, fine, I'll do it just to, give my cousin peace of mind.
Yeah.
So we're out there one day, and we got the pickle jar and everything, and my cousin, his mom is holding the jar. And I mean, he's like, what, 19 now? He was probably like 7 or 8 at this time. And we're out there, and I'm going throughout the whole backyard. It's hot as fuck, and I'm like, man, this is fucking bullshit. So then there's this little tree off in the corner in the back, and we get to that tree, and the things cross like magnets.
Yeah.
So my cousin's like, she puts the jar under there, and she puts the lid on it, and we look in the jar, and it's clear. So then I was like, okay, well, we've got to drive to the river, which isn't that far from
Yeah, it's a couple fucking blocks away.
and then we'll throw it in the river. And then my cousin was like, all right, let's go. We get in the car, and she goes, okay, we'll get out and throw it in the river. So I get this jar out of the car, right? And it's filled with smoke, like what seems like smoke, like it's foggy. Like there was nothing in there, like none of us smoke. And I'm like, so I walk over to the front of the car, and I show it to her, and she rolls down the window. She goes, what's going on? And I was like, this was empty, right? Like I'm not seeing this bullshit. And she's like, yeah. And she goes, did you put something in there? And I was like, no, like it's just
I just did what you said.
Yeah. So then we throw it in the river, and his night terrors are away, and everything gets better. The second time we went with another lady, and she was like a tier up. You know what I mean? We're getting to the
like
bottom.
next level.
And we were there just hanging out because she was one of my mom's friends actually, and she had this big ass house, and in the house she had like this long ass hallway, and then her restroom was at the very end. So I'm sitting there, and I asked her, I was like, "Oh, can I use your restroom?" She goes, "Yeah, it's at the very last door on your left hand side." She's like, "It's the second last door on your left hand side." So I walk over there, right, and I'm fucking not paying attention, and I go into the first door, and I open it, and it's just a dark room. The walls were painted red, the floor was red, and there's all these candles lit. And then as soon as I go in there, man, like I get dizzy. I feel like throwing up. And I couldn't get out of the room. And I just opened the door and took like 2 steps inwards.
Fuck.
And I felt like fucking shit. Like kind of like a hangover.
Yeah.
But out of nowhere. And then I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. And it seemed like I was in there forever. So this lady, she's also like half my size. And she puts her arm around my waist, and she pulls me out of the room, and then she closes the door. And then she goes, that's not the restroom. She goes, the restroom's over here. And she opens the door to the restroom. And then she just starts laughing. And then like I go in the restroom and I piss. And as soon as I got out of the door, as soon as I got out of the doorway, it was gone. Like I was fucking
like you were
good.
back to normal?
Yeah, like it was just, I mean, I couldn't explain it.
Follow us on Instagram at AOTB_cast, on Twitter at AOTB.cast. Check us out on Facebook. That's facebook.com/AOTBcast. Email us your questions, comments, anything at AOTB.cast@gmail.com. And as always, subscribe and give us those 5-star reviews.